we start our conversation tonight at the Melbourne Football Club, and the fallout from Simon Goodwin's exodus last Tuesday continues. And, well, we have to look in to a man who many believe is the front runner for the jobs, Nathan Buckley. It's great to have you on the couch tonight.
Didn't see this on the running.
Didn't see this on the running.
Oh, I actually got a lot of questions here. Okay, where do we start?
Oh, yeah, so
Nathan.
Well, I think we should start, Bucks. Just
you might have a lot of questions. I don't have a lot of answers.
Well, we hope to get a few
I'm
answers
going to
out
open
of
up
you.
with one.
Yeah.
Do you want to coach next year?
I don't know if I will or not.
No, do you want to?
I don't know if I
If you want
do
to.
or not. No. I've been really... I think I've been pretty transparent and clear with that. There's a spot available now, and this is the first time that I've actually wanted to go further down the track to find out what that challenge would be and whether it would fit for where I'm at in my life as well. So, yeah, I'm gonna explore it a little bit harder this time around.
What does exploring look like, Bucks? Is that asking questions of Melbourne or seeking to get clarification on what the process actually looks like?
Yeah, it's more to understand Melbourne's challenge and where they think they're at, where they think they need to go forward. I think but before we sort of get to all of this, I am but one of many candidates that will be really good options for Melbourne going forward, and they'll go through their process and they'll choose the person that they think is best placed to take them forward, whether that's for the next 3 years, 5 years, whether they're looking for 10 years. It's, you know, in the end, that's their remit to work that out. And there's multiple good options. There's multiple good decisions. It's not just one person. So I think that's got to be really clear up front.
Like, you'll go through the process. Would you believe that that's something that you'd like to do, just to see whether you do have that itch to scratch? It's been 3 years since you've coached at senior level. Is there a worry that maybe coaching is done for you?
It could be. It could be. But I'm stepping into a space now that I haven't at this point. And yeah, so I'm just taking the next steps to explore it for myself. And obviously, you know, through the lens of one club at the moment. I have kicked around with Tassie as well to have a look at that, but that's been dormant for probably 6 months. So that's as open as I can be about it. I'm going to be asked as I go along and have a microphone in front of me every second day. But I'm not going to be giving blow-by-blows on Melbourne's process, on their system, on where we're at in terms of our communication. I could think one thing this evening and think something different tomorrow evening, so it wouldn't be fair on me or them to try and do a blow-by-blow, because it will ebb and flow until either they or I or any other candidate gets to a final position.
There must be an attractiveness to the list, though, because ultimately you're really governed by the list that you have at hand.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think the list is one thing, you know, the list of players that's available. Then you've got to consider...
you didn't put your hand up for West Coast last year.
No, I know. Was that because I didn't like West Coast, or was it because I wasn't ready?
I would have thought you would have had a fairly close look at the list and gone, well, they're a few years away, realistically.
Well,
whereas I would have thought Melbourne are closer.
No, I can tell. I took a call from Don Pike, but I said to him, I'm not in the space. I'm not in the space to consider that. And I think I'm in a space to consider it now. But you look at the list, but then you've got to consider, right, what's the state of your TPP? I've been in a position where the TPP is not in a great state. Maybe it's not a position that I want to step into in that regard. I don't know that yet. Then the others, where do you train? What's the structure of your leadership? Because at the moment it's still quite transient. What are your plans going forward in terms of, you know, facilities and where you want to be? And where do you think you sit? You know, when do you want to compete? When do you want to contend? I don't have any answers to any of those questions.
Is it hard to talk? I mean, you've been in Simon Goodwin's position. Is it hard to talk publicly and openly about it, understanding what the hurt might be? I mean, do you reach out to Goody and see how he is and you know what he's feeling?
Yeah, well, I text Goody immediately because I thought he handled himself brilliantly. I think he's handled himself really well throughout, and I have empathy for the situation because clearly the Melbourne. The team looked unhappy at times over the last couple of years. There was dis-ease and unrest with the way that they presented on field, and no one knows what's going on behind. Plenty of scuttlebutt and innuendo, but no one knows exactly what's happening behind the scenes. But he's at the helm of that, trying to pull it all together. Some of it would be in his control and his remit. Others would be Yeah, it might be board. It might be football department structure. It could be individuals within the playing group that are just unhappy and making a lot of noise. Who knows? But I did feel for Goody, and I think he's been an excellent coach, a premiership coach. But we've had a connection along the way, and I reached out to him, congratulated him. I thought he handled himself with class.
What does Melbourne need? You're close to anyone. You've played for the club.
Yeah, I think they, and sometimes surprise packets can come up, but I think my feeling that this group internally would still think they can compete. So I don't think they need a coach coming in and trying to develop the list for 2 to 3 to 4 years down the track. I think they've got a genuine chance. And we saw a little bit of evidence on the weekend when they've been released of the shackles, so to speak. The energy is in that group and the quality of the players are in that group. I seriously think they compete for finals next year. And who knows where that might take them if they've got health and confidence. But I still think the coach might need a hard edge. I still think there's an element of the Melbourne Football Club and yeah, Damien Hardwick speaks. Sometimes we need to grow up. They don't need to grow up, but maybe just that hardness has just waned.
They spoke about Lovey stuff pre-season, saying getting rid of that.
Yeah, I think there's still room for that. I still think there is, and especially the generation of players coming through now certainly need that. But I still think there is that element of you need to be able to be friends with the coach, but understand where you stand, which was Alistair Clarkson's great trait. I'd imagine it's Damien Hardwick's great trait. So all the great coaches have that element of fear, and I think that's probably the perfect time. We've seen, Brendan McCarthy, the Bulldogs, contest. Luke Beveridge comes in, opens them up. So a complementary coach could probably work well as well. This game plan for probably 2 or 3, 4 years now has been about contest. So maybe a coach that can open them up a little bit and explore different avenues, like we saw on the weekend. It was a predictable response, I think, on the weekend from Melbourne, but that shows you what they might be capable of, which I think is a positive.
Let's get the latest from the newsroom. John Ralph joined us. Ralphie, where does the Melbourne coaching merry-go-round sit at the moment?
So Jack Nathan is the last man standing of the experienced types, but Melbourne is adamant tonight it will run a full process. This is not a boat race. And despite some of the public narrative, I still think that they're really open to a first-timer or a senior coach who's been there before. So Adam Simpson said today that he will not be part of the process. Those who know Ken Hinkley really well say he's absolutely cooked after 13 years in the job, and he's more likely to have a year off than even considering a job like Michael Voss's footy chief, let alone a senior coaching role. So by Wednesday at the earliest, the coaching selection panel will have all 6 members of it. It will likely have some external football experience, maybe some recruiting or leadership capability. Now, Jordan Lewis would be perfect for the job. There is a view in Melbourne that he's almost too close to Nathan, so make of that what you will. So here's the key. This is not a total rebuild, but Melbourne does not share the view of Simon Goodwin that they can compete next year. They believe it would be catastrophic to trade away all their senior players because they do believe that they can get back to the summit in 2 to 4 years, and just maybe the Christian Petracca types are still holding on by that stage, get another crack at it. So they're not considering trading Petracca or Lever. So Nathan's the early favourite, and now we get to see who else is on the shortlist, whether it's Brendan Lade or Danny Daly or one of the Hayden Skipworth types. Jordan, you've lived the Casey experience. It has certainly been something that's got a drive-through from Simon Goodwin. It's something that makes it hard to be a destination club. Give us your insights into the challenges and opportunities of Casey.
I mean, there's no doubt it's a challenge. I mean, the facilities out there are good, but are they at the level of a West Coast or the Hawthorn Football Club where they're moving to Dingley? No, they're not. I think players always want to be around the action where they train on the odd occasion at AAMI Park. It's great, but you're sharing that facilities with three people. But I think this has been a 25 to 30 year thing that everyone has been promised a home for the Melbourne Football Club, yet nothing has eventuated. So it always seems there's something in the background that they're working on, but nothing has ever come to fruition. So, yeah, I think it absolutely plays a part on trying to attract talent, whether that be coaches or players.
Bucks, does it surprise you that so many of the seasoned coaches have withdrawn so early out of this process? And, I mean, Brad Green clearly thinks, the interim president clearly thinks this is a finals list. He said that on the public record, but all of a sudden we're 2, 3, 4 days into it, and John Longmire's fallen away, Adam Simpson's fallen away, Ken Hinkley's fallen away. Even the incumbent at the moment, the caretaker coach, Troy Chaplin, has said that he doesn't want to take the job. They don't come around very often, these jobs.
No, but like I was in Horse's position and I've been in Simo's position, so I understand exactly the decision that they've made, given it's around 12 months for both of them. So and Ken Hinkley's position, he's still yet to finish, but he's obviously not keen to go around again. But we take that at face value as well. Like if Melbourne are legitimately keen on them, they'll probably knock on the door a second time and see how that goes. But it's not a. I understand entirely where they're at. Troy Chaplin, I've never been a caretaker coach, but there's not many caretaker coaches that end up taking over.
Well, Bucks, if you do get the job, we can put some character references in for you. We've loved your work on the couch. And I think, Brownie, you make a good forward coaching the mids, and I'll do backs.
But you might be too close. So
we might be too close.
The Bucks will
Too much
definitely be picking up
information.
the bill for Geordie tonight.